Let's welcome our first special guest, Veronica. Come on over, Veronica. We're not on the air. Kidding. Today we're going to discuss Veronica's forehead. Honey, your forehead's fine.
All right, let's start this thing.
Can you see the chin strap? Is it holding on?
No. All right, let's start this thing.
Can you see the chin strap? Is it holding on? Is it
No.
playing catch up with us?
There was a delay.
In case someone cusses like a sailor? Now we're live.
We're live.
You got your binky?
Oh. Come on, doggo.
Shoots flat. Look at that mountain goat.
Yeah.
The world's most mountain goat.
Sophia, what are you gonna say?
Hello.
All right, I guess it's time. It's 6 o'clock and 24 seconds. Hello, my name is Christopher Bologna,
And I'm secondhand Steve.
and this is.
What is it?
Go ahead, Soph.
Sophie, you're up.
Talk to the show.
Don't look at me. Speak into the mic like we did earlier. You train these dogs.
They just don't like it.
No.
Well, this is a man's journey, and tonight's special guest is my dog. Excuse me.
How'd you train your dog to burp like that?
Well, it took many, many years and lots of soda pop. Yeah.
Practice, practice, practice.
So it is a balmy 39 degrees here
Cold.
in California. And, you know, one would say that the earth is getting warmer, but
Not here, not today.
not today. Yeah. What do they call that?
Climate change.
Global warming. Steve has advised me not to talk about politics or sensitive topics. You know,
You were doing so good until you said that.
I know. Well, I am a conspiracy theorist at heart, and yeah, we've never really talked about that stuff, have we?
How does it help our show and our listeners for the topic we're bringing?
There is Steve. There's secondhand Steve with some
Direction.
gratuitous foresight. There you go. Yeah. So, what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear about tonight? Anything good? You want to talk about how the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl again? Go Chiefs! You think that game was rigged?
I don't follow football.
Well, this is the only man in America that doesn't follow football.
I'd rather cook a chicken.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, yes, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills,
Or Plumber Dan's gonna be happy about that.
and they're going to the Super Bowl for the third time. Three, right? And they're going to play who? The Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, we're not asking him.
I just found this out right now. Who's playing in the
That's
Super Bowl? That's how behind I am.
And if for you out there, I don't even know what the spread is, but if FanDuel wants to sponsor the show, we will definitely hit you guys up and give you some deals. Okay, so that's FanDuel, right? That's a betting app, Steve.
FanDuel?
Yeah, it's a betting app.
Haven't heard of it.
Okay, Sophia, you're very heavy on my legs.
I like the horse races.
How about you go into the bed?
Is that
Right
a sport?
that is a sport.
Look at me, I'm into sports.
Look at you. You just lay down. Lay down in the bed. I have a bed down here with a dog. And she doesn't really listen. I have to have a blanket. I tell you, it's cold today.
You turn the heater on, which
Oh,
never happens here.
it's not true. I turn it on when you leave, Steve.
That's mean.
Yeah.
It's just mean.
Yeah. So We survived pretty much all of January.
You know, everyone I know got sick, including myself and you. Everyone I know has an injury. Everyone I know is falling apart physically.
Yeah.
And welcome to January.
Welcome to January. Fires, mudslides. Finally got some rain, got some snow on the mountains.
We're in Southern California and the ground was so thirsty, it just drank up all the rain that we had locally where we're at.
Mm.
You doing okay?
No,
What do you need?
my legs are cramping.
So he went to the ER yesterday because you want to tell him why?
You go ahead and tell them why. I'm gonna take a walk.
Apparently he's got gout. And we got to find out that some things in his diet might be contributing to that. They gave him some medicine and for him to go to the ER, he must have been in extreme pain. I mean, did you think about taking your own foot off before you went to the ER?
I wanted a saw it off.
Yeah.
I didn't have the saw that we had at your house.
If you would have had the saw, you might have done something
At the ranch. Scott's got this sawzall.
That'll do it. The sawzall with the bone attachment. As seen on Saw. But so physically, he's in pain and he's hurting. And he's making the effort to be here tonight. And as soon as he comes back, maybe he'll be back to normal. But it comes in waves. And that's how most pain comes. When you get injured when you're a little bit older, or even when you're younger. But tonight I was thinking we talk about how do you occupy your time when your client is wheelchair ridden, bedridden, when you're limited on what you can do? How can you still be productive for not only the client, but yourself? If you're going to school and you have schoolwork, of course you could do something like that. But what if, let's say there's really nothing to do? How can you use that time to be of service to your client, maybe learn something for yourself, keep them entertained the best you can? And it's always a challenge to try to find a way to stay busy when there's nothing to do. And are you going to go into the light?
I don't know, it's just like it won't release.
And it's a cramp now? Is it in the calf?
No, it's in my hip bone.
Oh, good. It's spreading.
Right next to the groin. It's good stuff, man. Yeah, I went to the gym.
And it's a cramp?
Yeah.
And you took your potassium. You just took it an hour ago.
I took 2 hydration drinks full of potassium and magnesium. I don't know what it is, man. My body's rejecting me.
So just, because we're live, if anything happens, do you want to be resuscitated?
No, DNR. I've had enough of this crap.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is the beauty of going live. You just never
Falling apart right in front of people.
You just never know what you're gonna get out of us.
Remember, falling apart in front of people is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign you're very human.
Yeah.
It's just
We're not like, well, we're fragile.
must be French.
I thought Italian.
Oh, that's right. Was it Italian in the movie?
You didn't see
A Christmas Story. It's a classic. The Leg Lamp.
Oh.
It's a classic of classics. Ralphie.
I'm gonna do this. Let's see if I can't release it. Oh, that feels better.
Stretch it out if you got to stretch it out.
All right, what are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about how to use our time productively.
Oh,
And you know what? Hang on. Special guest?
Sebi.
Special guest. Hold on.
Sebastian just entered the studio. Oh my gosh. Yo, Sebi, you want to be on my show? This is the reason why we have this show. This is Sebastian Paul Valona. Sebi, can you say hi to everybody? You say hi? Anything? A little wave, maybe?
Thumbs up.
There it is.
Nice. Hello, everyone from Sebi.
Speak.
And what does Sebi have?
He's got 5 fingers and toes.
I mean, what's his conditions for those who haven't watched us or don't understand?
Well,
Sebastian.
Sebastian has Batten disease, CLN8. And so every day is a challenge, but I look at it as every day is a victory. just the fact that he can be here right now, he's smiling.
Let's see the big eyes.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sebi is just getting ready to start the next phase of the night. We're going into treatment tonight. We're doing another overnight at EE Systems a la Bio Recharge here in Santa Clarita. So website's almost done. My friend is allowing us to use her rooms where it just pretty much does energy healing. And Sebastian, you just have dinner? You just eat?
Just got done playing Trouble and winning a few games.
Did you just have dinner too? We're just overwhelming them. It's just the way it is. What? He just had dinner. That's what I got. Well, I'm glad that you had dinner. What'd you have? Don't fall asleep. Wake up. What did you eat? Chicken? Did you have the chicken? And pasta?
Yes.
Nice. There you go. Chicken and pasta, Steve.
Very nice.
What did you have for dinner, Steve? You had a granola bar.
I had a pizza for lunch and I slowly ate the slices until I came over tonight, so I'm full from that.
Oh my God. I just had three little like chicken sandwiches. Little sliced chicken.
Oh, the ones you just made right now?
Yeah. I put them in the oven. Just a little bit of mustard. Yeah. See, I can't eat turkey anymore, according to this new document. Have you ever had gout? There's this list where you can't eat what you can eat, avoid, limit, eat. Sucks. It's when you think you're eating clean and then you get something like gout, and then you have to take a lot of stuff out. So, that's my story.
Michael here?
No, that's just Veronica, the nurse, the head nurse. Veronica, good morning.
So Sebastian is 21 years old.
That's right.
His nurse is here. I'm just one of his caregivers. He has another gentleman coming, should be here any moment, to run him through some body movements and keep him stretched out.
He's late. Where is he? Let me see.
And everything Chris does is to assure that his son has the best care.
Well,
And as a father, you're doing an outstanding job with that.
thank you. Let me text this other guy here real quick. I don't know what's going on.
But how hard could it be, Chris, to take care of a son with a rare disease?
Are you serious?
Does it have any challenges?
No.
Does it affect how you live your life and see the world?
Where are you? There we go.
That'll get him here faster.
Well, I don't have time to say, hey, how's it going, buddy? Are you okay? Yeah, it has a lot of challenges, but I've decided, as of like the last couple of years, just to kind of simply say that those challenges are victories, Sebastian, if you listen to the doctor, should be dead twice. And when I say twice, it's because they gave him two due dates for death. And first one was you're not going to see your teenage years, and then you're not going to live past your teenage years. So here he is, proof.
So there was a time he could walk. There was a time he could see. There was a time he could speak and be understood very clearly.
Yeah.
And all of this is going away.
Yeah.
Slowly, very slowly.
It's getting better now with this new treatment.
And that's one of the reasons I want to, and that decline has paused because of this new treatment he's getting.
Yeah.
Which is, talk about giving someone hope. So tonight he's going in for another back-to-back, and hopefully that gives him some energy and some ability, because he's much more verbal after some of these treatments and stronger.
Yeah.
He still has some good upper body strength.
Yeah, he's very strong in his upper body where he couldn't be able to hold himself up before. He's actually thumb wrestling me, but I always win. I don't coddle him too much. Yeah. So, there's a lot of things that goes into taking care of a, you know, a rare disease child who's now a man. Uh, oh, I just lost.
Finally, good job,
Yeah.
Sonny.
We'll have to play 2 out of 3 later. But you know, you've heard all that before, and I think one of the things we're going to discuss tonight is like, you know, what do you do when you get bored, right?
Yeah,
With your client, or you know,
you look at the clock, you got hours and hours left to go. They're already fed, showered, bathed, they've taken their medication, that you know, how many times can you watch the same show over and over? How can you be productive with your time?
thousands of hours of the same show, Steve.
Thousands and thousands of hours.
I could recite all Harry Potter movies from 1 to 8.
It's a Weasley.
I know what to do with you. Gryffindor.
It's the pumping tree.
And that's true. I mean, but you know, it's like what we want to reiterate or just tell you is that it's really not about you as the caregiver as much as what your client wants. And if your client is nonverbal, like Sebastian is at times, that's a very good question. What do you do? How do you pass the time? How do you make things better or easier for everybody involved? You know, you're there for like an 8 to 10 hour shift, and you're sitting in there and you're doing the same thing over and over again, but it brings your client much joy, right? Are you to change that? Are you to move things around?
So the priority is you do what's best for your client.
What?
You put yourself on the back burner always when you're at work or you know a loved one that you're caretaking for. And if they enjoy seeing the same show over and over, then you put on the same show over and over.
Yeah.
But you can also find a way too where you can keep your sanity. Maybe it involves a pair of headphones on them so you don't have to hear it while they can watch it. Or you find little tricks where you can do stuff and not have to be completely caught up in the repetition of it all over and over and over. But while that's going on, what can you do?
Well, you know, sometimes if your client is sleeping, you can read a book or study if you're in school. I'm sure that if your place of business will allow that, just tell them, hey, if the client is taking a nap, you know, that's your break time. Let's say, can I read a book and stay in the room?
Another thing too, if you're the person hiring the caretakers and you expect them to just be Johnny on the spot, or I'm trying to think of an expression for there comes a time where, you know, just in a home environment, you need to relax. You know, if your caretaker wants to read a book, as long as you're there and they're aware of any noise or sounds that the client makes that might alert them to something. If they're prone to seizures, you always have to be on guard for that. But if you expect someone to just stand like a mother hen over the chicks, it's not realistic. You know, so be gentle with your caregivers.
Well, then find something to do. Like you can leave the house, like you could get out and have a walk. This thing rolls. So, you know, you're not really doing too much except pushing your client up and down the street, or go out in the sun and just get a tan. You know,
sometimes just the motion from getting outside, the sun on the face or the wind, or, you know, just the fresh air does everyone good.
Sebastian's going to give us a tip.
Kansas City by 3. That's what I heard.
No, he's saying he sits in the sun, don't you? I sit in the sun. I sit up. Thank you. Now speak clearly. I
And the more you're exposed to this, the more you'll understand. It's like learning a language.
Yeah. So the great thing about this is that I understand more than probably anybody in the room. But the thing is that Sebastian wasn't talking like this last 6 months ago. He wasn't participating.
Just kind of zoned out.
Yeah. I know, I heard you.
And this lets us know
I
he's a
know
little
that's-
more
I know
aware
that- I
in
know that's
himself,
what you
of
do.
himself.
I know that's what you do. Yeah. And these are things he didn't do before. It's crazy. I mean, he did them before, but the decline, basically takes your, if you're on a brain disease, it just on the decline, you just don't do those things you used to do. And now you're doing them. Oh, Michael texted me. I had a late client. I'll be right there. Can you put on the outside lights for Michael? Yeah, it's kind of cold and dark. But also patience. Patience is a huge thing if you have a client like Sebastian, or if you don't, or maybe you're like taking care of the elderly who can't really talk. And all you get to do is just, stand by and just record vitals. And if you're charting all day, it can get kind of boring and lonesome.
Here's the test. If you have patience, you don't get frustrated.
Yeah, that's hard to say.
And who has that skill?
No.
So it's an indicator that there's some more work I need to do on myself when I start getting frustrated, or I start the repetitions bothering me, or I start just looking for just something different.
Yeah. But sometimes it's hard to find something different if you're looking for something different to do every day. That's why I think routines are important, but you can like jump up the routines here and there from time to time. Instead of maybe having your bath at like 6:30 p.m., you could maybe take a sunset stroll first, or maybe
long walk on the beach.
If you live by the beach, yeah, take a sunset stroll on the beach.
You work with what you have, and
Yeah.
you work with where you're at,
Yeah.
and you do the best you can with that. Did that just rhyme?
Are you rhyming?
I think I am.
I missed it. I'm trying to protect his head from this corner here.
So let me get him out of the way then.
Well, don't do that because you're gonna take my arm off.
Oh, then it's a done deal then.
Yeah, don't rip my arm off there.
You let go of Dad's arm?
Let go of my. He's like, no. New.
Take it with you. Take it with you.
How about new?
He doesn't need it. He's got an extra one.
This kid's strong. Free. Later, bro. I don't know what you guys were doing there, nurse. But he's now out of the studio. See you later. Mean Machine. Name that movie.
Longest Yard.
The original, of course. Not the remake. But yeah, it's hard to come up with different stuff to do every day. I mean, that's why I think that routines are important. So like Sebastian, he has a school that he goes to from 8 o'clock until 3 p.m.
And he loved it. He likes going to school.
Right. And there he's got tons of stuff to do. He's got different types of practitioners there. He's got a speech, got a therapist, got PT, and he's got a regular general ed teacher.
So he has all the sensations of going to school. He's got people's voices. He's got background noise. He's got he's moving from A to B.
Yeah.
And he's involved. He's a part of.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you get them home, that they miss school.
Yeah, or they're just wiped out, zonked.
Go either way. But
yeah.
There's a balance with stimulation depending on what your client has. And overstimulation is never good.
Right. But sometimes it's good.
Understimulation can be a benefit.
I'm just saying sometimes.
But long term,
yeah,
you got to find a balance.
Well, Sebastian is like up and down. Every day is different. So
yeah.
You have to be prepared to kind of pivot. Like we do board games in the afternoons, right? You ever play Monopoly? I have. Yeah. 365 days a year sometimes. For hours, But the thing that makes him happy is that he gets to roll the dice.
He's involved, he's engaged.
And that fine motor skills are getting some work, So the moment that he picks up stuff, it's really important. So we just keep doing it. We make jokes and we have a good time.
And he laughed.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And with me, he always seems to win somehow, which makes him laugh even more.
No, I don't let
he laughs because he likes to watch me lose.
I don't like to. I don't let him win. No. Sorry, I'm not that dad that gives out a trophy for everything. We just don't do that here. No, you have to earn it. You got a problem with that?
Who are you talking to?
No. You talking to me? Who is that? Who's that?
You just mad dog the viewer.
That's just taxi driver, guys. We should have a show on
Trivia from old movies?
yeah. There's another thing you could do. You could pass the time by including your client in that. I bet your client, if your client is old like Steve and is able to talk to you, he'll probably understand what we're talking about.
Hey, our new special guest is here.
Hey, enter Michael.
Just walking through the door.
Wow.
Apparently he was late with a client.
Come on in, Mike. Say hi to the viewers again.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to Caregiver Radio, your 102.9, whatever channel you're on.
There you go.
No, wrong. Where's my producer? Could you fire this guy? Thank you.
Get therapy out of him first, then.
Nice beanie, Mike.
Thank you.
How cold is it outside?
Cold enough to cause a little bit of shrinkage.
Wow, especially with your shorts.
Yes.
Okay. Mike's not ready for prime time, so we won't let him back in. Your client's in the bathroom, as you can hear, so that's great.
Debbie, is it a number 8?
Okay,
Goes for everything.
as you can see, in this household, we have fun. We don't take life too seriously here, honestly. You know, we don't scream over broken shoelaces or spilled milk. We just kind of just laugh about it and throw things at people.
Real hard to be petty over the small things.
Yeah, I
When you
mean,
have something like this right in front of you.
yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, and it actually teaches me to just kind of laugh at people who are freaking out over, you know, whatever it is they're thinking. My dog is trying to find Michael. Sorry. Jeez. So let me ask you this. If you got let me just turn this down. There's another microphone. The whole house is mic'd for sound and cameras, but sometimes you probably hear that. Tell me what you guys would do. Put it down in the comments. Tell me what you guys do if you're watching the show. If you're a male caregiver, can you give us some suggestions, some male tips and tricks? Anyone will be read out loud next time, or you could email us.
How do you stay productive?
What's the email?
Raregivers@,
No,
raregivers dot.
no, men at raregivers.global. Got it? Men at raregivers.global. I didn't even have to get my notes this time. I'm doing much better.
That's first.
Isn't it though?
Maybe I'll have mine next week.
Well, I've been doing it for here like 18 weeks. Yeah. See, we're men and we're slow, but at least we admit it. You know, we're not the best, but we are here and we are stable. Mostly. I don't know about your mental capacity, Stephen.
Limited, very limited.
Right. So I don't see anything in the chat, you know.
But how do you stay productive? How do you keep busy? Is there some little hobby or something you came up with that helps you with that? Is there something you do that helps occupy your time while still being able to keep an eye on your client?
Well, can't you involve the client?
Oh, and that's the other thing too,
Whoa.
is how do you engage the client and keep them connected, keep them maybe busy or entertained with an activity? And I'm not just talking about parking them in front of a television set with a movie or a show.
Mm. Although that does happen a lot here.
It does, especially when they want to see that movie or
That's
that
true.
show.
I mean, Sebastian runs this house. You
So
know,
Sebastian loves
a lot.
superheroes.
Yeah. That he
So his
does.
father here has done an excellent job with
I don't know about that.
one day it's Batman, one day it's Buzz Lightyear, one day it's Superman, and Sebi has everything. For Christmas, he got a sorting hat. And I think he got that directly from Diagon Alley. It's next to Hogmeads. We do watch Harry Potter a lot here.
Oh my God.
And he loves that hat, and he'll just hit the button because it talks. I think it's the original sorting hat. It's the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what
He'll
is
play
it?
with that until he's done playing with it.
I'm gonna pop this up here right now. No, there's no chat. No chat. Unbelievable. What? Nobody wants to interact tonight? Where's all my guys? Where's all my guys? Well, all right. It is what it is. It's just. Hi, where'd you come from? Can I get some love? No. Best dog in the world, Sophia, aren't you? She's my daughter. I adopted her. Now she's Steve's friend.
Your dog has good taste in people.
So you could do board games, you could go for a walk, you could go out to eat. We did that on Saturday night, right before I went to the hospital. You know, gotta love those shrimp tacos. But you know, you could find things to do. And I guess what I'm trying to say is like if you wanted to keep and maintain just your sanity, you can just treat your patient like anybody else. If he's able to. Now, your patient might be as mobile as Sebastian. He may be in a bed, he may be on a G tube, he may be strapped in. But if he's not, well, you can just disconnect all that stuff anyway, right? No?
Inner voice, you gotta use your inner voice for those.
But you can go outside and you can go for a meal. You know, we went to a restaurant and he had a great time. You know, I try to do that as much as possible. What I'm trying to do is I'm saying, keep your patient as normal as possible. I understand there's special things you need, like, you know, your meals or your medication. But after that,
It takes a little more to prepare to leave the house. You gotta bring some things with you.
sure, it's like having a baby. You got to get the baby bag. And what's in the bag? You got your go bag. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. you
But don't anchor yourself to the house just because if someone has limitations.
Correct. And let me just edify Steve. You know, Steve leaves the house when Sebastian wants to leave. Either they'll sit outside in the sun, or they'll go for a walk around the block,
He loves feeding the ducks.
or he'll go to the lake, or he'll go to therapy. You know, they'll get in the van and they'll just go. You know, so if you have the ability to do that, then I would suggest just talking it over with, you know, obviously your boss and the client, and see if that's something you guys could do. You know, so. And if you can't do that, well, then it's, you know, board games and Harry Potter for the 900th time.
If you like to cook, if you can,
Oh yeah,
get them involved. If
cooking. I cook a lot.
drawing,
I
crayons,
don't draw.
coloring,
I don't draw.
just get creative with what you do.
Maybe, well, Sebastian used to draw. He used to color. His brother Gage is an amazing artist. Truly, like, better than any cartoon funnies you've ever seen in the New York selling, you know, New York paper or Los Angeles Times. He's that good. Have you seen any of his stuff?
No, I have not.
Well,
Which means if he's creative, which means Sebastian's got some kind of creativity also.
for sure.
And if you can find it, even in his capacity to do what he can, might be a great benefit to them.
I just want you all to see Sophia. Yeah. Well, anybody else out there want to talk to us? It's kind of like a short-lived topic of what to do when you're working. I guess let's recap the weekend. This weekend, I had a really awesome thing where we were.
In the ER.
What?
Let's hear about your awesome weekend. You already forgot about it.
Oh my God. Look at Lakers beat the Hornets 112-107. That's what guys do. We multitask. No, I was invited to be on, or I registered to be on my friend's little health care revival, I think it was called. If you had a chance to watch Effie Parks' Once Upon a Gene, and it was amazing. They talked about how caregivers like me and Steve can do things differently, and how to get some respite for yourself, how to eat better, how to meditate, how to work out, which was awesome because I love to work out. Let's see. I am talking about you on my show.
Are you texting Effie right now?
Is it okay?
And there's our disclaimer.
Well, I always just, beg for forgiveness later. That's what it is. But it was really cool just to kind of get a female perspective from what, you know, they do. Normally, we always discuss how women are usually in this role,
Yeah,
and the men are
we're
secondary.
the minority.
We are the
now.
minority, yeah. So, and as life gets, you know, she said, talk about me whenever you want. That's happy. What was it say when, there's the tagline, I forget. Oh my God. When-
So her show on health.
yeah, it was, okay, I will. Now, don't be disparaged. Is that the right word?
I don't know, use it in a sentence.
No, that's the wrong word. Don't get worried because we're talking about what women do on a men's show. But I wanted to tell you that as a man, I was able to talk about, not talk about, I was able to hear some really great perspective, especially in the workout area. I like to work out because if you don't work out, you don't train your body, you're not going to be strong enough for your person or persons, whether it's a female or a male, because they may not be a baby, they may not be a toddler, they may be a grown man. Like Sebastian's a grown man. When he stands up, he's 5'8". He's weighing about 130 pounds. That's a lot of weight to control, right? You ever had that, Steve?
Yes.
You already have some experience on that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. And there comes a time when you're just dealing with dead weight. Just
Yeah.
dead weight.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to be able to maneuver and without getting hurt.
Right. And one of the good things about this this little revival, as Effie called it, I think it was a revival. It was basically there was 3 components, you know, that dealt with that caregiver self. You know, we never get enough rest. We never know how to feed ourselves, and we never really know how to train our bodies for our job. You know, so the great thing about this thing was that it showed, it was a real life chef too, in a kitchen, cooking really quality meals. You would like that part because you just showed me that you were going to get involved with this this thing.
The meal planning.
Yeah, so he's going to buy like a meal plan thing, I think.
Well, I found out about a nice person that prepares meals and the price seems to be right. And it would help me because in the eating area, I'm very undisciplined. And so if I can wake up and I know what I'm having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
It's awful.
one less thing I can worry about.
He's absolutely the worst. I don't know how he's still alive.
I don't,
I mean, we're talking,
I've already expired. I'm on the, this is all bonus stuff.
you're not on the milk box carton yet, but just saying, this guy
That's for
eats
missing.
shit. Oh, sorry about that. But he eats all kinds of crap. I mean, he'll come in with cheeseburgers, burritos, Coca-Cola, energy drinks, candy, and he wonders why he feels horrible. And he doesn't work out. He you know, doesn't do much except come to work. And then he's always tired because he's tired because he can't handle somebody who's that size, especially transferring from the bed to the wheelchair to the bathtub. So you would have liked that portion too. It showed you how to properly navigate your person from a dead position on the floor to transferring weight out of the wheelchair, you know, and so forth. And stuff
Right.
like that. And I really appreciated that because, you know, no one really teaches us that stuff. You know, I can tell you a routine that works for me, you know, but no one asked me to be on a show. No one asked me to be in a revival. Yeah,
Maybe that'll change.
you got a little resentment.
Little.
Well, God bless you, Effie Parks. I would highly recommend checking out her podcast, onceuponagene.com, I think it is. And it's the story of you know, caregiver journeys, raising your rare disease kids as well. So a lot of great tips and tricks, and just that was just really cool. It reminded me about being back in the pandemic, you know, when everything was online. Remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't leave the house. Everything was on this screen, the same screen you're watching us now. Boy, we would have been a hit, wouldn't we?
Oh, who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows?
We would have dominated.
My favorite thing to watch during the pandemic was on Pass the Mic on BET channel. And they had all these famous artists and singers from the 80s, 70s, 90s. And they would do their songs, their hits, and they do it from their house, and it was wonderful. Pass the mic with DJ Cassidy. Love that.
Never heard of it. Come on up.
But I was looking for new stuff. I was looking for things to keep me,
Like you do today. This guy lives on YouTube. If you haven't seen him yet, he's on YouTube now.
I got YouTube Premium.
What's that?
life-changing? No commercials. Can't stand commercials.
Does it have like local channels?
I haven't checked, but it does. It has, like here, one of the local news channels is Channel 5, KTLA.
Mm.
And I'll put that on and it'll give me all the stories and highlights that I need. I don't have to listen to the fluff and the commercials and I want to know the weather, I go right to the weather. But what I like about it is, it interests me to learn about new things, especially the stuff I'm interested in.
Mm.
So like right now, I'm trying to perfect sharpening a knife.
That's great, Steve. Are you gonna bring that to work?
My skill, I'll bring it everywhere I go.
Let's not bring any weapons into the house, sir.
No, but
Yeah.
it has to do with learning how to take care of what you already have, learning how to maintain what you already own. Like if you're a homeowner, it'll do you good to learn about your house, save a lot of money. You know, if you have plumbing problems, electrical, there's things you can learn that you're able to do. There's something that'll be way over your head and mine.
Steve, do you watch that when you're working?
Sometimes,
Oh,
yeah, I'll go on YouTube.
that's great to know. So you're not really watching, you're just watching TV.
While I'm in the same room,
All right.
Keeping an eye
Is
out.
he asleep? Sometimes?
sometimes he's watching his show and I'm watching mine.
Oh, God. There you go. So there you go. So if you're a caregiver and you've got a really great lenient boss like me, and you can do whatever you want to do as long as the patient is being watched or being taken care of. Sebastian's a special type of case because he's got epilepsy. So kind of like you have to be a shadow, which absolutely is hard. You just have to be around, like
And you learn things.
you got to
learn,
be
like,
within an arm's distance because you fall and kill himself.
when he's in his wheelchair, you put on the buckle.
Yeah, you strap him in
Because if he
And-
goes into a
and
seizure,
the brake
he'll flop out of the chair.
and the brakes. Don't forget the brakes.
He leaves it.
That kid is falling out of that chair without the brakes in the street. That's another story, but it was pretty funny.
But you'll learn how to
Just kept going down the street. Oops, get out there. Where'd Sandy go?
it's funny now.
Yeah, it was scary then. And he only cut his eye once. Well, that day once.
But you'll learn to adjust and
Right.
adapt to
Oh.
your conditions.
Guess what I'm listening to?
What are you listening to?
Video games. I don't really necessarily say you should like do video games, but if your child is able to have that dexterity and the music and they love, it's really good. Those type of video games. Some of them could be educational. We do Mario Kart. So Mario Kart's educational. Gotta win. Win.
But you find out what they like. Sometimes there'll be a carryover from their past that they never let go of. And you gotta just embrace
Well,
that.
that's just memory.
Yeah. And they might not want to try anything new or different. They might want to just stay with the same old thing. And again, it's they're the boss. So we do what
Yeah.
makes them happy.
So video games. Or you know what, you could read out loud to them. You could perform a play. Yeah, if you're like, let's say you're a part-time caregiver, but your passion is that you're gonna be in the play on Saturday night, you could perform,
Yeah,
make them a part of the play, make them the plant.
make it part of your homework.
Yeah, there's a plant in the corner, you be the plant.
Playing the plant.
I don't know, man. So you just gotta come up with stuff, and that's the whole thing about being a good caregiver. You're on the fly, you want to have fun, leave all your crap outside that door. The minute you check in and clock in, nothing else matters except your patient, right? And so your patient doesn't need your negativity. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Leave your negative crap outside in the other world and then bring in your positive, because if your patient's anything like my son, they absorb all that stuff. Then again, we absorb, anyone absorbs all that energy.
Yeah.
I was taught this weekend that I have the power to really heal not only myself, but people around me. Because I really do believe that we are vibrations. And so we have negative vibrations other people will pick up on those negative vibrations and the whole room is just negative. So try to leave it around outside. Or if you just can't, then just, take a minute and breathe, do a little meditation for like 30 seconds.
Find times throughout the day where you can put on your own oxygen for a moment and take care of yourself.
Yeah, you're entitled to 2 15-minute breaks.
Thanks, Kalosha. But you'll be the judge of what you
You
need.
could do a 15-minute meditation in one of your breaks. Yeah, but Steve does his breaks with YouTube. So
I'm doing a break right now.
and some people like to go outside and smoke and vape, and other people just kind of like to eat. So, if you can get it all in 15 minutes, God bless you. Get the vape in, get the snack in, get a little breathing in. It's all good. So, anything else?
I can't think of
Oh,
anything.
come on, Steve. You've got it all down. You got it all down.
I don't know what I've ever done to make you believe that.
Look at this. My son's medication is ready. Do you subscribe to the CVS app?
No, I do not.
That's another thing I want to tell you. If you guys are going through crazy times and you have multiple clients, this is a great thing for you. The CVS app has an app to where you can actually have all the prescriptions in your family at your fingertips, and it's free. If you have an iOS, if you have an Android, and what it does is like once you call in the prescription and you forget it, right? Or sometimes you just have it on auto, it just tells you, hey, we got the doctors to approve, it's ready, come pick it up. I mean,
That sounds like a good use of
I'm
the
looking at it right now. My other son, his medication is done too. Son of a bitch. It's awesome.
Looks like someone's going to CVS.
Yeah, I have to go to CVS tomorrow now. Woohoo. Now, if CVS wants to be a sponsor, we'll happily bring you on board to A Man's Journey, sponsored by RareGivers.global.
We'll even give them a t-shirt.
That's right. That's right. We're going to make t-shirts. We do have t-shirts, actually. We're going to wear them soon. Don't mind this shirt. This is an old shirt. This is one of my old businesses. CSG Consulting, get it? Chris, Sebastian, Gage. We're consultants for being sober because I'm sober. Are you sober?
I am.
Right. So here's the thing, a lot of us in this field, or a lot of parents, it's really, really challenging to watch your kid struggle or die, or he's dying. So a lot of people like to drink too much, to not feel
It's tough to bear. We understand.
a lot of drugs are being used. And that's not good. And I'll tell you why, because you forget that your kid is in the other room, and let's say you pass out, right? And then something happens, and then you're really in trouble. So back in the day, I think actually I created this in the pandemic. The pandemic
What else were you doing?
Well, I was doing a lot of stuff. But I had my hotline to rare disease families, or anyone really. If you just wanted to call and vent if you were having trouble with the drink, or if you're having trouble with the drugs, we would hook you up with different inpatient treatment centers and stuff like that.
We got resources.
Yeah, we had a lot of resources. I still have those same. I mean, even though the company doesn't exist, I still have those resources. I still will pick up that phone, and I will help you. I will listen to you, and I won't judge you. But I will tell you the truth, and your truth may not be your truth, but it'll be the truth that you need to hear, because it is hard. Like Steve said, it's hard. It's hard to go through that, and we want to escape. We don't want to feel, and we don't want to be involved, because it's not fair. It's just sad.
You have let's say you have something in your life that it's hard to cope with, and you get to the point where you're overwhelmed. And
Yeah.
what do? You go back to what you know. What's going to, let you keep your sanity. But sometimes there's a real high price with that, especially if you got a problem with it. If you don't have a problem with it, knock yourself out.
Well, there is a problem. So you'll let's just say you get in the car and you drive drunk. So then you're going to jail.
That's a problem.
You lose your driver's license. That's another problem.
10 grand.
And then you may spend some
10
time.
grand. Bye-bye.
You may spend some time in jail. Let's say you got in an accident, you killed somebody. Who's going to take care of your kid? Who needs you? Because you needed to escape.
Now you got children's services involved. You got
yeah.
this. You
It just
got
goes
in it.
on and on and on. Then the family gets mad, and it's just a mess.
Or you get drunk and you do something unforgivable, and someone gets hurt severely, or
Yeah.
Will you be able to forgive yourself after that, knowing it could have been prevented?
Right. So there's many levels of mental health. And we've talked about these, and sometimes we really haven't talked about addiction. We should do a show on addiction.
I think we have enough
Yeah,
experience
I think we
between
should
the
do
two
a
of
show
us.
on addiction. I think in the coming weeks, we're gonna have a really great specialist on here that's actually a real great friend of mine who's gonna be on here soon. We can all talk about addiction on some level, but not the whole show, but you know what I'm saying? But these are the things, it's like, think it through, right? I know that life is hard. I'm not saying you shouldn't drink or you should stop drinking or do what you do, but when it becomes a problem, that's when you have to really self-examine. You have to ask yourself, why am I drinking every day?
And here's the funny part that no one gets. It's like you're digging yourself into a hole. But you can't dig yourself out of it. And that's where resources are needed. That's where you need to reach out. Because sometimes we dig that hole for ourselves pretty deep.
Speaking of resources, I got a text message from one of my favorite people
Just now?
last week, over the weekend. I'm trying to think where. You might know her. Crystal? You remember Crystal? There she is. Crystal Olaf. Ha!
What'd she send you?
She sent me a resource tab. Merry Christmas. Let me go through my.
And there's resources I'm finding out about, which
Yeah.
are incredible. So
Yeah.
just don't think you have all the answers. Always find out if there's something else.
Okay. Here's what it was. It was on a group text with Padma. Hi, Padma. She's a great lady that lives in San Francisco. She's a wonderful therapist. She says, FY Dr. Alyssa Eppel from UCSF, who's on our mental health council. I did not know that. That's awesome. Shared a few webinars for us to help others and psychologically impacted by the fires, which we talked about being prepared, right, Steve?
Yes.
Also, if you go to the website and you look under climate resources, this is the first link to psychological first aid training. And you'll find some resources there. So speaking of resources, so I mean, if you go, where is it?
Men at raregivers.global.
No, this website is called
I finally got it. No credit.
Climate, let's see, Climate
Resilience.
Climate Resilience Online. So, and under here, this is from the University of California. And basically on this, this main page, it'll give you this resources that you need. So you'll go to climateresilience.online and then you'll go to resilience resources in the tab. So there's like a bunch of tabs, like, on websites, you have like the home page and about us, same thing. Click on that resilience resources and it'll tell you about what to do in times of need, especially in these, stressful times like fires, you have to be evacuated or, we live in California, of course, there's earthquakes.
Oh, we get everything here except tornadoes.
Yeah, get a little flooding. That's always fun. But this is what I was talking about, the resources. So, check it out. And you can also check out the Rare Givers homepage at raregivers.global. We have resources there. And also other shows on that website that'll tell you different things for different people, for different females, as well as us, the male side. So there's a lot of meetups. There's a lot of great logins, a lot of Zoom calls and stuff like that. And then we have retreats. So the retreats, there's a men's retreat and there's a female retreat. So I'm looking forward to the men's retreat. That'll be, I think, coming up later in this year, but we'll have more information on that, I think, when Crystal sets that in stone. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So to recap, what are you going to do with your client?
What are you going to do when there's nothing to do?
What are you going to do with your client? It better not be this. You get fired. Where's my client? Let's see, it's my
Well
son,
taken care of.
but Steve is here on medical leave. He'll join us here on Monday. So, but again, find things to do, include your client. Don't just become a robot and don't become impatient. Just you're there for 6 to 8 hours. Sometimes you're doing 12s. But I would imagine during those 12s, your client is sleeping. So, you read a book. There's a lot of great audio apps.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if Amazon wants to be a sponsor, what do you think? Jeff Bezos?
we'll get him a shirt.
Yeah, we'll get him a shirt.
And another thing too is, we talked about how he loves watching Harry Potter. I put on Harry Potter, the audiobook,
Yeah.
because he can't see, so it actually describes everything like you're reading a book. He
Yeah.
prefers the movie. So again, find out what your client likes, find out what their
Yeah.
interest lies.
So that's because when you have to understand when
It's familiar.
Well, Sebastian could see up to the age of 7.
Right.
And it slowly started doing so, we were watching those things,
So in his mind, he's still able to play it back when he hears it.
he's got those images, like, he'll talk about sunsets and sunrises because I always included him in my hikes and stuff like that.
So I tried putting on a new audiobook. I thought it was along the same lines that he might be interested in. He expressed no interest whatsoever.
Just fell asleep.
Well, he goes back. What he enjoys is the familiar, something he's comfortable and he knows.
Yeah.
And so that's where we stay.
And that's the redundancy. You're just gonna have to figure it out. Okay. You're in Harry Potter land, or maybe you're in the backyardigans.
So he doesn't have to adjust to that. We do.
Yeah.
I do.
Or maybe it's what did we get back into? God, he was so young. Thomas the Train. Oh my God. We're watching Thomas the Train. I don't mind it because it's with one of my favorite voice actors, George Carlin, who is awesome.
I would rather eat a bug than watch Thomas the Train.
Well, you can get
Not my
you
thing.
can get
But
your
again,
bugs.
doesn't matter. He wants Thomas the Train, you put on Thomas the Train, and then you find something that keeps you occupied. Otherwise, you're just gonna sit there and get resentful, and that doesn't help nobody.
You'll be fired if I find out. Yeah, so you're going to figure out what works for your client first, and then just get into it, man. Make that person's day the best day of your life. And then come back and do it again and again and again. You see what I'm saying? Because your client actually responds to you. If you're happy, the client is happy. I can't tell you enough about this guy. And his head's going to get bigger than it's ever been right now. But maybe you might be able to leave the door. I don't know. But the two of these guys, my son and caregiver's secondhand Steve, the laughter is infectious. Like I'll be out here working in this office, and they'll be in the other part of the house, and I just hear them just belly aching, laughing, just out of nowhere. And I go in there and it's going on for 10 minutes. I go in there, Steve's got a tissue, he's wiping the tears, and Sebastian's got snot coming out of his nose. And I said, "What did you guys talk about?" He goes, "Nothing, he just farted."
The catalyst for great comedy.
Somebody open a window in here.
And again, what he finds funny, I'll play him. Me losing a game, he'll laugh. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll just continue to lose so he can enjoy himself.
right.
It's an easy sacrifice doing something like that.
Well, let's not put it like
And-
it's
and
a
one day-
sacrifice.
one day
It's your
maybe-
job. You're supposed to. It's not a sacrifice. I mean, do you want to be here?
Well, what would it look like for you to lose when you know you didn't?
Well, I'm just grateful that Steve is here.
That would be a sacrifice
Wow. Okay.
for some.
Well, listen, I think we expressed a lot of great ideas. If you got any of your own that we missed, hey, put them in the chat or email us.
Let us know how you're doing.
What's the email, Steve?
men@raregivers.global.net.
No dot nine. God, just dot global. Okay.
Dot global.
Global.
The end.
That's it. Gmail. Okay.
Men@raregivers.global.
Yeah, that's it. And they'll come right to us, and then we'll talk about it on the show if we missed anything. So props out to you, Effie Parks. Once upon a time, once upon a Gene.
Gene.
Sorry. It's so, it's that movie, Once Upon a Time in America. Now as you can't leaves. But you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Effie, for putting that out there. That was a great first step. Look forward to it being in person next year. I would love to participate. So if you've got my phone number, please give me a call. I'll fly up there and handle whatever you need me to handle. Till next time, I'm Christopher Valona,
I'm secondhand Steve.
and this is A Man's Journey on the Rare Givers channel. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We'll see you next Monday at 6 p.m.
Be gentle with yourselves until then.